Welcome back to the channel. It is an honor and a privilege to serve and to be here. And I just want to thank everyone for being here, for watching the videos all the way through, for liking them, for sharing them. It enlightens me and it gives me a lot of joy to know that these messages are helping some of you guys. And so I'm really grateful for that. And so without further ado, I think that's how you say it, I wanted to get right into it. Over the past few days, I've been reflecting. I always reflect because I want to have an impact on humanity in a positive way. And the people that are assigned to me that I am to help heal and move forward are people who have gone through very a lot of darkness. We're just gonna say that, right? And so there are a lot of coaches out there. There are a lot of people that do what it is that I want to do, or that what God is calling me to do, right? Which is at the end of the day what I also want to do. See, I have a passion for this. I love helping. This morning I posted something about like the things that people don't like about you, like being kind, being generous, being giving, being loving, being caring. Those are the same things that God loves about you and that God will reward you for. And so when I say those things, I say it because of me, because I am like the kindest soul and loving soul, and I'm just like very pure at heart. Not perfect, no. Not perfect, but very pure when it comes to the condition of my heart and my intentions towards other people, right? And so the world looks at those traits as weaknesses. It was for me to be hardened by now, to be in my ego, to be mad, hostile, upset about the things that were being done to me, and that are still being done. But instead, I've turned that into healing, right? And God is so beautiful. Yesterday, I was sharing videos of when I started, right? And the courage that took. Looking at it now, it's like the person that's saying that story about the abuse, about not knowing her identity, about not knowing where she came from, about not knowing who her father is, right? Or who her real parents are in reality, or having that connection with her bloodline, with her family. That girl that's there, that woman that's behind that screen, I don't resonate with her anymore. But I felt her pain, right? I felt her pain. And I felt her purity and her obedience. It's so beautiful, right? And when I say her, I mean me. God had me out here just sharing my story. And then I didn't understand at that time where that was leading to. But it wasn't for me to understand. It was for me to be obedient. And so I was. And I did. And I shared my story. And I wrote the books, right? And all of that. And I spoke about it. But then I did it at a level that is worldwide. Like, really, God? But that's what it took for me to change characters. That's what I did. I changed characters. And then a couple of days ago, I posted something about changing the story, right? About how the story before was this, and that. And then the story now is this, and that, right? And so it all coincided. I rested a lot over this weekend. And it's gotten to the point where I no longer question my intuition. When my intuition says you need to rest, I listen. Because the last time I didn't do that, I had this massive headache. Like, it was the most intense headache I've ever felt. And it was because I was doing more than what I needed to be doing. I was doing without just doing, like, you know how we earn, like we do things to earn other people's love, or we perform to get acceptance and things like that. So I was performing, and I didn't realize that that's what I was doing. And so God was like, slow down, slow down, slow down, slow down. Where are you going? Where are you going? Where are you going? And so since I wasn't listening, I wasn't following my intuition. My intuition was telling me, take a nap, honey, take a nap, take a nap, for like days. And no, Susan wasn't taking a nap. So God sat me down for a couple of days, actually. And so now, when I feel like I need to rest, I rest. So this weekend, I felt like I needed to rest. I began to develop that kind of headache again. And I was like, oh, this is cue for me to rest. And then the next day, it was like, oh, you might need to take a nap, sweetheart. And so I did that. I do that. I listen to my intuition. I am obedient to the Most High God. I listen. But the point of it all was that I had to, looking at those videos, reflecting on everything that I've overcome, and how my heart, the condition of my heart is still pure. Instead of me becoming resentful, hurt, hateful, having any type of ill will towards other people who have done horrific things, right? I've healed that, and I've changed the story. I've changed my story. And I've called my power back. And I looked at it, and as I was looking at the videos yesterday, I looked at it, and in a sense, while I was doing those, like, no, not in a sense, while I was doing those videos at the beginning, the videos that were about what happened to me as a little girl and the things that I went through as a little girl, those videos came from a space of, yes, I needed to share my story, but I wasn't totally healed at that point. I was still healing those wounds, right? And it wasn't until I removed my identity from those experiences that I was able to heal those wounds completely. I had to detach from everything that had to do with that. And it's the same for anything else that I had to let go of. For example, with my addictions, I had to no longer identify with the addictions, no longer identify with, let's say, like people who smoke, right? And they stop smoking and you offer them a cigarette. What do they say? They say, no, I'm not a smoker. They dissociated from that experience. And so that's what I had to do with all of my experiences that I needed to heal from. I had to detach. And we go back to detaching from the programming, right? We always go back to basics. It's like I always go back to the same thing. We have to detach from the programming. We have to heal, right? In order for us to heal, we have to detach from the programming. And so for me, it was detaching from those belief systems that didn't work for me anymore. And that's where I came to a place of healing. And then yesterday, instead of being triggered when I saw those videos, I was able to hold a space of love and care for that wonderful human being that was behind that screen, which I no longer resonate with, but I loved and love and care for because I've healed